Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. Well, it looks like Sweet Baby Inc. is on the run, trying to hide from their agenda and kind of all the nonsense stuff that they've been pushing over the past few years. And, well, of course, we all know that the mere mention of the name Sweet Baby Inc. involved in any kind of project is almost a guaranteed death nail in it because of the day and age. We know because we know the kind of quality they really influence video games to bring to us. Of course, all of the diversity, inclusion, and equity kind of nonsense that has driven games like Concord and Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League into absolute abysmal failure and will continue going forward with any kind of company out there. And of course, we've already seen that other companies have already been scrubbed from their websites in the past, and now it looks like because of all of the backlash out there, they are not even showing off any of their agenda-driven nonsense. They are not showing any of the game companies that they are working with anymore, all in a seemingly obvious ploy to rewrite their entire image. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It won't work because the internet is forever and we do not forget. And that's exactly what we're going to do right here. We're going to document this disastrous dumpster fire, highlight some of all of their miserable failures, and show you what their new redesigned website is and why they are now trying to hide their woke agenda. So we're going to check out this article from thatparkplace.com, getting all of the juicy details. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we've been grinding, we've been growing, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, if you'd like to help support the channel, check out the links in the description down below. And of course, let us know on the comment section what you think about all this. Does it surprise you at all that Sweet Baby Inc. is trying to run and hide away from its own agenda-driven nonsense now? Do you think this will actually do them any good, or do you think we will always remember forever? And there are so many good quality people out there like Cabrutus and everybody else involved with Sweet Baby Inc. detected to make sure that no one ever forgets what they have done in the past. Let us know what you think about all that down below. So from thatparkplace.com and our dear sweet John F. Trent. Sweet Baby Inc. redesigns its website to remove client and game lists as well as hide its woke agenda. Color us shocked there. And we've heard from industry insiders before in different reports talking about how literally the only real plan is inside of some of these major AAA studios is simply to remove the woke marketing and not have this and still have this kind of stuff in its gameplay. Well, guess what? As always, gamers, your audience, and your customers have always been smarter than you. We will sniff all of this stuff out and your games will still burn down to the ground as long as you continue to try to force diversity, inclusion, and equity and decides to substitute that for good quality storytelling. That is never going to sell. Sweet Baby Inc. redesigned its website to remove its client and game list in an apparent attempt to hide its woke agenda to potential clients. Well, considering the fact that we already know that this game has been soured throughout the entire video game industry, we've even had one of their own former employees coming out and admitting on a Twitch stream that people inside the gaming industry don't want to hire him anymore because of the Sweet Baby Inc. discourse that's been going on, and rightly deserved. The website previously made it abundantly clear the company was attempting to interject woke ideology into video games with an About Us section that declared, "Our mission is to tell better, more empathetic stories while diversifying and enriching the video game industry." Yeah, how'd that enriching work out, considering everything you've turned into has turned into a disastrous dumpster fire of a flop and failed miserably. "We aim to make games more engaging, more fun, more meaningful, and more inclusive for everyone." Oh yes, chasing that new modern audience that doesn't exist. It also featured an outreach section that stated, "New and marginalized talent can come change this industry if given the proper support. We want to provide this through our outreach program." Yes, we want to take new, young, easily influenced gaming people that are interested in the industry, and we're going to take them and we're going to make sure that just because of the color of their skin, we're going to give them a bunch of extra help and make sure we train them in our ideology so they go out there into the world as perfect little drones that will continue to destroy everything they touch. It also listed the various projects the game had worked on, including Alan Wake 2, Sable, Battle Shapers, Spider-Man 2, God of War Ragnarok, and Usual Jane. While these were just the featured games, you could navigate to the site's project page and discover more of the company's games, such as Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. Yeah, how'd that work out for Warner Brothers? The Crew Motorfest, South of Midnight, Capes, and more. Furthermore, the company also shared a client list that included Xbox Game Studios, Electronic Arts, Valve, True Love, Santa Monica Studios, 2K, Ubisoft, Ubisoft, Square Enix, Ubisoft, da-da-da-da-da. If you want to read the whole list, you can literally just pause the video right here, check them all out, and go, yeah, color us shocked there. Oh, and I love the Wizards of the Coast. Color us shocked on that one. These sections have all been removed and replaced. I wonder why. Because the stink of Sweet Baby Inc. is upon all of you companies, and none of your audience out there, none of your customers, none of your gamers want anything to do with anything they've touched. Weird how that works out. Go woke, go broke, after all. Now, the company describes it now in their rebrand, in their changing of their ways, and from them running and hiding from all of the agenda-driven nonsense that has bankrupted so many games out there. The company now describes itself as an award-winning team of writers and narrative designers who help make stories better. Oh, really? How'd that work out for Suicide Squad? How much better was the story for Concord? Oh, by the way, what happened to that company that did Saints Row reboot? With over 30 games shipped from AAA, indie, and solo developers, we are not just contractors. We're storytellers who can take your project to the next level. And by next level, if you mean the next basement level below the current one you've already found yourselves in, yeah, go right ahead. You can always dig your hole farther, after all. It then lists the various services it provides, including script writing, consulting, and authenticity and sensitivity. Oh, yeah. Don't we love the little buzzwords they've reverted back to after they were just so blatant and open about it? How do we know what these people want and what their intents are going to be? How do we know that when Sweet Baby Inc. touches a game that it's going to destroy it? Because we listen to what these people say. And now that we've listened, now that we've called them out for it, they're trying to run and hide. Making shame great again works, ladies and gentlemen, because now they are trying to hide from their own words because they have been called out and shamed for it. Under script writing, it states, we work within the scope to cover all your script writing needs. Oh, yes, they will. They'll make them scripts. It's the bestest ever. And by bestest ever, we mean wokest ever. From cinematics to dialogue to naming 500 pieces of armor, we know every word counts. Yes, they do, because they believe words are weapons and can be used to hurt people. So trust me, they know. For consultation, the company wrote, no matter the stage of production, we can strengthen story pitches, world building and character development needs, and other narrative design demands. You mean like uglifying all of our beautiful and classic characters like Mary Jane out there in the Spider-Man 2 game? Plus forcing people to do DEI, very obvious kind of agenda-driven stories and missions? Oh, color us shocked there. Yeah, you help out real great with that. By the way, how'd that work out for Spider-Man 2? Finally, for authenticity and sensitivity, it states, we approach sensitivity by working with your existing narrative and documentation to bring out its natural authenticity and emotional resonance. We don't look for red flags. We highlight green ones. No, you might not look for red flags, but what you do is create them for all of the gamers and the customers out there, which is why as soon as we see these red flags, everybody automatically cancels their pre-orders and backs away and goes, oh, I'll wait till somebody I actually trust reviews this game and lets me know if it's worth my $70, $80, or $120. Star Wars Outlaws, which, by the way, we can't confirm that they were directly involved with this game, but we do know that they were directly involved with Ubisoft. How'd that work out for them? The site then lists a number of featured games the company worked on, including God of War Ragnarok, Battle Sabers, Sable, Suicide Squad, Kills the Justice League. Yeah, wouldn't exactly look as that something that I'd be promoting, considering the fact that Warner Brothers already admitted it lost hundreds of millions of dollars on that game. The Crew Motorfest and After of EP. Basically, all games that I will be avoiding. And I've heard God of War Ragnarok is pretty decent. And as a big fan of the God of War franchise out there, I love hack and slashes. Guess what? As soon as I heard even an inkling of this, I'm not going to bother with it. Maybe I'll play it if it ever ends up free or somebody buys it for me and just wants to watch me suffer. Finally, it features a new outreach and workshop section that states, our experienced team of writers and narrative designers are ready and available to provide workshops, talks, and general insights to your team. Let us show how we dig beneath the narrative surfaces. Oh, by golly gee George. All the words talking about everything about diversity, inclusion, and training the next woke NPC out there are all magically gone. And I wonder why. Because they were pushing a woke agenda and it fails every single time. You don't even have to look at the video game industry. Look at what happened to Bud Light. Look what's happened to Disney when they decided to go this way. Look what happened to the MCU in the last few years and the billions of dollars that company has lost by going down the exact same pathway that the video game industry went with Sweet Baby Inc. using its mob type tactics to either lead them right along by the nose, force them into this, or convince them all to be true believers and possess them with the spirit of the age, because that is what we have seen time and time again. And guess what? It continues to fail. So I'm glad to see, after all of the different examples that Park Place gives us of you being called out about this nonsense, I'm glad you finally realize that your agenda-driven nonsense, your absolute drivel, does not sell with a main street audience out there, and it has damaged your brand and destroyed your company. And guess what, Sweet Baby Inc.? You were founded on diversity, inclusion, and equity. You were founded on the woke agenda. And guess what you've gotten? Exactly what you deserve. You have to now run and hide your agenda under the guise of all kinds of other ridiculous buzzwords that, guess what? We know them too. Run and hide all you want, Sweet Baby Inc. The internet is forever, and we will never forget what you have done to some of our favorite video game franchises and what you have done to some of our favorite video game companies. Change form all you want. We know your story. We know your game. We recognize the spirit of the age and the absolute devil, hell-born ideology that you tried to push. And now you found out that the rest of the world does not buy into it, nor will they ever. You have failed, and you are running and hiding now just to salvage some kind of semblance of money you might be able to make in the future. Well, guess what, Sweet Baby Inc.? Hide all you want. Go woke, go broke, exist in the light and in the shadows. And you'll die just like a plant in the shadows, and it'll be exactly what you deserve. Run away, Sweet Baby Inc. It's exactly what you get.